Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and we are back today looking at our Jungle Flora map that we started quite a while ago. I wasn't exactly happy with my original interpretation of the map, and I gave my brother a shot to kind of bring it to life in his own way. And we're looking at the version that I did first, so that you can see the improvements that he made. He's definitely the better mapper out of the two of us, for sure. So I do take, like the ideas that he has, and I usually run with them because he's got like a better idea for space and stuff like that. So I'll just go over real quick the kind of stuff that we had on the map originally, and then I might take a step back, show what we had briefly, and then show what we had to do to kind of move things forward, whatever direction we were going. So the top of the map connects to our jungle camp map. The right map, the right side of the map connects to our jungle creatures map, which is why I thought, jungle flora, jungle fauna, right next to each other is kind of a fun, little play on that. And then I had kind of 4 points of interest that kind of go in like a downward right facing line. So we had this cliff with, this strange tree that was present. We have this bridge that's crossing over this pit, this little muddy field area where if you go and zoom in a little bit, you can see there's like a man-eating plant in here. And then we had some more kind of flora looking things. They're more like kraken tentacles and stuff like that. But I was inspired by Ultima. So the world of Ultima has corpsers, and they're like plant-based kind of tentacle looking things. So I thought that was a nice fit. Let's real quick take a step out. I believe this was Matt's original thing that he gave me, so that you're going to see a lot of stuff here. You can see that the bridge is tied off. It looks a lot more broken. I might go in and change the color of that a little bit if I can, because I want to try and keep things consistent and uniform. And the other bridge that we had was a little bit more green, because that's typically like the wood style that they're using. Like these trees have a little bit more of that color. You can also see that he made some of this stuff a little bit more functional. This looks a little bit more like a hill now. I can't remember if you can see it a little bit. I think there's still a creature there. The pit here looks a lot deeper, so it looks a lot more, the way that it should. And we lost the tree up here, but we actually gained some trees up here. The only issue is the original map that was north of here did not have those trees. And we need to make sure that we're not, causing any problems with that connective tissue. So you'll see I got rid of those trees. We might do something to make this area pop a little bit more. But for now, we needed to make sure that the borders were unobstructed. I also shrunk down his cliff a little bit, specifically because we usually lose about half of this tile when we are doing our conversion to our physical maps. Not when we're doing like a regular zone, that we print out on like a poster or anything like that. But our maps are only 38 by 16 inches. And the way that our printer does their stuff, they end up losing, again, about half of that last column. So this ends up making it so that we don't lose that. I'm going to real quick save, because I did, again, shrink that down a little bit. So we'll do that. Take a little sip in the meantime. As I said, we also lost that tree up there. So I think what we'll do is we'll add another one there. But I have a different idea for it. I don't know if we'll be able to make it work, but let's see. So we got I'm just looking at some of the stuff that I knew was coming down the pipe from the I say pipe, but it's supposed to be pike. From the Explorers set. Ooh. It's a lot of market stuff. Let's see. We got terrain editions, new auction stuff, and some treasure editions. Ooh, I like the new shields and stuff. Standing and fallen. Very cool. I'm going to have to play with that stuff tomorrow, I think. All right. Anyway, we're going to search specifically for trees. I'm looking for a dead tree. Did I not? I was going to say, I know it's there. All right, we're not going to do an epic stamp. I want to try and see. Let's see. Throw down to like 50. And I also want to play with the corrupted trees. I probably won't use the corrupted trees. And then the weird... Yeah, I don't think that either of those really fit the bill. So we're going to use this guy. But I do want to try and change that to look a little bit more green. I think that's good. Maybe a little bit more saturated. And again, I need to make sure that it doesn't go over the threshold because it can't. Can't do that. All right, so we'll do it there. It's kind of like, well, maybe a little scooch more. That way it's about halfway between there as well. It's not going to cross over into that threshold, but just to make sure. And then I'll have to figure out what I want to do with that point of interest. Let's see if we can grab the branch as well. Or I'm sorry, the bridge rather. So Matt was not using the layers stuff, and that's perfectly fine. He doesn't need to. I'm just saying. All right, so we might be able to just grab everything. No? Mayhaps? Nope. All right, let's try and grab things piece by piece. Seems good. That's a nice green color. Maybe we'll leave the rope alone, but the rickety bridge needs to change its color. So we're going to come in here and change that to 30. And there you go. You get a little bit more green look to it, which is in line with some of the other stuff that we've got in other places. I don't think that you're going to see it in, like I can't resize to over here, but let's go back and, oh my God, I'm blind. So if we do jungle camp, that's kind of the color that we were going for. A little bit more green. It doesn't have to be all green, all brown, anything like that, but like a nice mix in between. So that looks good. Let's see. I'll tell you what. Let's look at what we have in those new sets and see if anything makes sense. So we've got the camp editions. I think I need to blow this up a little bit. I know that they were talking about adding some new stuff here. So the only problem with this set is it's not entirely consistent with what we have. You know, like you could put one of the old tents. We'll do a little play here. We've got some big tents. We got some Yiddo tents. You know, I was more worried when I saw this originally on the channel. It is different, but it's not so different that it bothers me. But let's try some other stuff while we're here. So we've got the backpack. Let's throw that onto here. Let's go back over here and see if we've got any other backpacks. These ones are all standing, so they don't really do the best job of showing you a comparison. But this one's supposed to be standing too. I think the reason that they did it is because when you blow it up, there's a lot more detail on the new stuff. The other stuff kind of looks a little bit more cartoony, I guess. I guess in some senses they both look cartoony, but this one almost looks like partially watercolor, and this one looks a little bit more realistic, for better or worse. Yeah, you can see like when you're zooming these in, I feel like there's a lot more fidelity that sticks around with these ones. I honestly, maybe it won't be as big of a deal as I thought it was. I don't like the idea of me losing the stamps that I had, and that sounds like that's the route that we're going to go. You know, like the older camp stuff, we're not going to have access to. We're not going to lose it in old maps that we have or anything like that, but it's not always great to lose access to stuff. And I would like it if they did something that made it so that I could, you know, use those stamps if I wanted to down the line. Anyway, let's try and see if we can make use of some of this stuff. And they've got some burnt wood over here that I was looking at. Let's do the random stamps is good, but I also want a random angle. We're going to have like that. I think they said something about like embers or something. Let's see what else we got. Got some stew, some tinderwood, some meat drying racks. Is that a bindle? It looks like a bindle. Rations in a bindle. Yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff. Flint and a fire striker, that's nice. I'll tell you what. Whoever was at this camp, they don't have their flint or their fire striker now. Let's see if we got any new corpses. Yeah, corpses. No. Although it does look like we got... I don't remember having the winter corpses, so that's kind of nice. Let's look at body instead. No. Skeleton? See, if it wasn't for the shackles... Let's see if we can make that work for us either way. See, let's try something out real quick. We're going to save it because I need to go into the custom layer tool. And I think I've tried this before. I don't think that you can have an object layer on top of another object layer that then has the clipping mask that doesn't affect the bottom layer. I will show you what I mean in a second. Oops. I need nothing there to do this. So we're going to try and change this real quick. One of the other things that we've learned is that sometimes there's some shading issues when you're doing your map and you've got like black coloring and you need to you go to export it and then that black coloring doesn't show through. The custom layer tool has been helping to recover some of that. So let's real quick make sure that we didn't lose anything that Matt had. We're still looking pretty good. Let's see, do we have the creature there still? I guess we lost it because it wouldn't have been there. It would have been flattened and then painted over. So I might have to go through and put something back there just so that we can see it. We don't have the skeleton because we did the save. Let's do We need to add another layer. It's just another object layer on top of that one. We're going to put the skeleton there, and we're going to verify whether or not the clipping mask. I feel like I just want like a clipping mask set so that it doesn't load a billion pieces of art. Or alternatively, I could just write clip beforehand, not CIP. All right, time to test it out. And yeah, we lose everything. Let's see if there's a way to fix that. Yeah, that sure is a pain. It would be nice to be able to fix that. I'm trying to think. In theory, see, it would be nice if you could draw a clipping mask like you would in Photoshop, where I would just be able to say, all right, I just want that piece of the skeleton to be shown. Because the problem is, I would like it to look like the skeleton is below the tree, but I really can't do it the way that I have it. What if... let's see. Let's try something different. All right, so that's technically above the, it's flattened onto that layer now. Oh, that's the trick. That's the cheddar. All right, now the only problem is, obviously, we've lost some of the opportunity to make that darker. So, if we go into color and we did black, it's affecting everything, right? So we know that we can do that. It gives us a little bit more flexibility, but we still need to be mindful of the fact that certain things are going to have to change here. So let's do, move the brightness down a little bit, and now we're going to flatten it to the brush layer above. So now if we come here, we can go to the brush layer, we can make sure we're on erase again, get rid of the stuff that would be underneath. We'll do that as well. We don't need to see that leg. And that arm right there. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Oh. Cool. All right. So we'll have to see if people notice that that skeleton is there. Yeah, I would love some more hanging skeletons, but they don't really give you that option. So there's our fourth point of interest now. So we've got that. Let's do a couple of broken branches over there too. Stick. Drumstick. Let's see. Go back to the tree because I think that there's some stuff that you can kind of use for tree branches that look pretty good. These guys, if you throw them down to a stamp scale of like 15, kind of looks the part. And they're still on rotation. It just... Get out of there. The only problem is we're going to have to move these guys underneath. But let's do this part first. Fallen tree. I want to grab all of them. And let's move that hue to about 25. Oh, maybe even more than that. Again, we're trying to get like that green look to it. 40's good. Let's try and see if we can desaturate them a little bit. Maybe make them a little darker because they're further down. Let's make another layer. Object layer 3. We'll put it below the foreground. No, below the object layer 1 is the only thing that's important. So object layer 2, grab these guys, move to layer 3, blink, cool. Matt's already done a lot of the flocking, so we don't need to do anything there. So we're at 723. Let's do one more save. I might put the plant back there, but we'll save for now, and then we're going to go take a real quick peek at some of our other maps. We got at least one more. I think we got 3 more, actually, over the past couple of days. And I don't think I'm going to do any work on them or anything. I think we're just going to take a peek. Okay, so we have a lighthouse map for the first time. Let's go to the basic map. He gave us 3 maps because we've got an interior first floor and an interior top floor, but this is the one that people are going to see first. So we wanted something that looks a little bit different than like the normal stuff that we have. You can see that Arturo made good use of the layers tool as well, and his water looks a little bit more dynamic. I think, oh, you know what? Actually, upon closer look, I think these are just, I think that's just opacity. And that's pretty impressive because he does a very good job with that. And he did a good job with like the stones and everything like that. Arturo is great to work with. And we've got more stuff coming from him very quickly. And it's funny because I feel like this map works very much in line with the stuff that we've been doing in the Pirate Cove, which is a multi-map set as well. Let's do we've seen this already, the Pirate Cove entrance, but we'll take another look. So this was the original map that we threw out for the Pirate Cove. This was done by Becca Tigris. And then she gave us a second set, which is the Pirate Cove Cavern entrance. So you can see she did a decent amount of work here as well. We'll probably add a couple of points of interest here just to kind of make it pop a little bit. Right now it's in its basic form, and we need to do a little bit more to have stuff existing in this cavern and make a little bit more sense. And then we've got the third map in the set, which is the ship chamber. So this is the big one. This is the map that puts the adventure together, because we are trying to make this kind of work as an adventure. This should actually be our first adventure when we're done making it. So I think, I can't tell if she's got the custom layers tool. I don't think so. I don't even think she's in the Explorer set with Arturo and Matt and I, but hopefully she gets access to it in the future. So you can see that the pirate ship has been, battered pretty badly, and it's stuck in this Pirate Cove now. There's something very special underneath the boat that is kind of like the driving force of the adventure. And there's some pretty cool mechanics that we're adding to the adventure to have it pop a little bit. And then we have a fourth set. I think that I'm going to probably manipulate this a decent amount, because it looks like just a bunch of stamps thrown together. And whether it's, me like adding a little bit of like height disparity, or more likely what I'll probably end up doing is building out these cliffs to make them look like, like different chambers instead of one big chamber. You'll have a barracks, you'll have, a shrine, something like that. I think that'll make it pop a little bit more, to have it kind of separated a little bit, but we'll see. But I think it's good, to have something like this started out, and we'll certainly throw this out there as like an alternate map. But I think, we'll keep it like that today. We'll keep it pretty chill. I also, it is April Fool's, but it's the end of the night, and I have to come clean about something. On the Patreon, I did the Valley of the Blind map. You know what, we'll pop over there real quick. We usually do something April Fool's-y every year, and since the battle maps have become such a big part of what we do and, who we're working alongside, I thought that this would be a funny idea. So on our Patreon today, we released the Valley of the Blind map. For everybody who sees this down the line and we're like, I think that he put together a map that, he forgot to make sure that the images looked right. This was all part of the plan. Of course it was. So much a part of the plan that if you read the first letter of every sentence, it spells out April Fools. So we have that. I also decided to go the extra mile, and we have high res gridded and gridless versions, which I didn't need, of course, and variant versions. So we had a night version and an unfurnished version, which means nothing, and then we had the POIs as well. So I'll show off the POIs because why not? Work with me here. Everyone has to see this. So just black spots on the point of interest as well. Yeah. Have to do something for April Fools. It's a requirement. But that's it. That's as crazy as we get. Obviously got a lot that we're still working towards, but we're going to keep on trucking. But in the meantime, let's Brianna says tee hee 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 hee. We are going to wrap things up for tonight. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow and finish up the Jungle Flora if we're not already done today. I think we need to do a little bit more touch-ups here and there, but it'll be quick. And then maybe we'll do we've got the map books together, so maybe we'll take a look at the map books as a special feature tomorrow. And for the first time in a long time, we'll throw the camera on and we'll actually show people what we've been working on. But let's head over to the show closing page. We're going to keep things brief today, just because I'm tired. Go to Tellest.com. It's a great first place to start for all your stuff. We've got 3 premium channels, patreon.com/Tellest, Tellest.etsy.com, and battlemapfantasy.com. Those will bring you to all your map-related stuff. We've also got 2 TikTok channels, at Tales of Tellest and at Weird Witch Wands. They'll take you to our dogs and our wives, respectively. Rihanna's been working on a lot of cool stuff. She's got like 52 wands that she's been working our way through in various phases and everything like that. We've also got 2 video channels, youtube.com/@worldoftellest, where you can find all of our videos, and twitch.tv/thattellest guy is the first place that they start before they grow up and they become YouTube videos. But that's going to wrap us up for today. We will be back tomorrow to look at more stuff, but until then, I'll miss you.